So when COVID hit, you had at that point thought of expansion, and obviously the whole world shut down at that point. You went through a tough financial crisis sort of situation. Talk to us a little bit about that. And
so we'd actually raised our first round in 2019, and then 2020 happened. And I still remember in March of 2020 when the big lockdown happened, my investors said, listen, I think the runway that you have for funding right now is about 3-4 months. After that, there's no money. And nobody was really putting in more money in businesses, especially like fashion, because it's at the bottom of the food chain. Nobody cares about consuming luxury. So he said, listen, July, I still remember 17 July 2020 will be the last day that the House of Masaba exists. And I'm a realist, so I kept that in my head. I didn't think that it wouldn't happen. I did all the things that I had to do to make sure that didn't happen. So we shut stores, unfortunately had to lay off lots of people. We cut our losses. But you know, I'll tell you, Sania, in hindsight, it's the greatest thing that could have happened to me.
Really?
Yeah, because it set me up for everything that I'm so confident of today. Understanding my business, understanding what needs to be done, not second guessing and doubting my intelligence, trusting my gut. Because all the things that I did then, I should have actually done them a year back when things were okay. So that was tough.
But you weren't pushing your limit at that point
wasn't,
because you didn't
I was
have
like,
to.
funding aa gayi hai, you know, there will always be something that will fire and it'll work. But I think you have to be very careful of these things and not just have a bird's eye view. You have to go deep into each detail, which I did. It's also the time that my now husband and I, our relationship became what it became because we spent like 3 months
much time together.
He saw me at my worst.
So, a couple of questions in one question. When Masaba Masaba dropped, it was an instant hit. And we were talking about this off camera, you know, whether it was because it was COVID, everybody was home, or whether it was actually really good content, which I think it was. How was that? Because you always wanted to be an actor, because you had the confidence of being
Beyonce.
Yeah. So you obviously proved that you could act and you had the talent and you were with your mom who was against you acting. And tell us that whole situation.
You know, it's really funny, but I keep asking the producer and director of Masaba Masaba that why did you guys not do a test with me? This is nepotism. I was like,
if you had a different name to the show, they may
I was like, the show is by my name. I'm the lead actor and no one has checked if I can even speak a word of Hindi or a dialogue. But I went on there and I just felt so good. It was like coming home. The first scene that I did was with my mom, of course. And it was a scene without dialogues, I must tell you. And it was just like us emoting some stuff. And she just cut and she said, you're so bad. So she said, you need to work on this, you know. So you have another 40 days, figure it out. And I did. I mean, it was just...
No, you were very good.
I went into it then. And I didn't really do any training or anything either. I just think I felt comfortable in that space. I'm comfortable in front of camera.
But do you think Masaba Masaba gave you the recognition and the face or your label that was going on for the last 20 years?
It was Masaba Masaba. I think it resurrected us. Firstly, it came out in COVID, August of 2020. And it was the worst. I mean, I was ready to sell 100% of my brand because there was no money. And then Masaba Masaba happened and it saved me. So I think it just gave me a second sort of, like second innings in a way. Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah.